Hey, welcome to Cal-Free Kicks. On this channel I review leather-free sneakers only, and this video is all about the Reebok Nano 13. Channel, if you've not seen one of my videos before, I always look into 5 different categories when I review a pair of sneakers. Then at the end of this video, I will take into account their looks, their comfort, their weight, their breathability and their price, and give these Reebok Nano 13s an overall rating out of 5 stars. As always, if you do like what you see as you're going on, please do not forget to click the little thumbs up like button below on your device. You can drop any comments, and also if you have not already, please take the time to subscribe to the channel. So let's kick this review off then by first checking out these Reebok Nano 13s on feet. So I think Reebok have done a better job looks-wise with these Reebok Nano 13s than their predecessors, the Nano 12s and the 11s. I think the main feature that they've changed is the lift and run chassis. And that is this plastic unit that runs from the heel of the sneaker through to the back of the midfoot and then cuts in underneath the midsole and rests at the ball of your feet. Now this is there to support you while you're lifting, but also give you some soft spring while you're running. Reebok have said this is the best fitness shoe that has ever been made. I mainly do lifestyle sneaker reviews, so I'm not really going to concentrate too much on the fitness aspect of them, but whether these can be a crossover as a lifestyle sneaker as well. And looks wise, I still do think they look a little bit too much like an all-out fitness shoe, but some of the colorways that they are releasing soon, it's only available in a couple at the moment, but there's many more listed as coming soon on the Reebok app and website, and I think they offer much more character to the sneaker, and you could definitely get away with wearing those more as a lifestyle shoe. I do think this colorway in particular looks a bit too fitness for me, but I do think it's got some nice touches. Now, starting with the fact that this sneaker is made from 30% recycled materials. A lot of that is possibly going to be recycled polyester that makes up this flex weave fabric that you get around the toe box and also through the middle of the foot. Now, it's supposed to continue throughout the shoe, but it's dominated towards the rear with heavy padding around the heel unit. You've then got a nice iridescent touch on this one with this part of iridescent strip material, this TPU overlay that cuts through the Reebok branding. You've got some TPU reinforced eye stays around the lace loops, more TPU and reinforcement that runs through the tongue of the sneaker to really pull it in around the top of your feet. And then you've got this lift and run plastic chassis that runs through the heel unit and again cuts into the midfoot and runs through this Floatride Energy midsole. The back cushioning of this Floatride Energy is nice and soft to the touch. And then on the outsole, you've got incredibly hardened rubber outsole on these sneakers. It cuts linear all the way through the shoe, but overall I do think they look better than their predecessors. But I really want to start now talking about their comfort by checking them out on my back doorstep. Sorry if my words are coming out a bit bumbled. I've got a bit of a sinus issue and it's just making it more difficult for me to speak today, but stick with me and we'll talk more about the comfort for these Reebok Nano 13s. Now, you can see from the step test that I really struggled to get any responsive bounce back out of this Floatride Energy midsole with this lift and run chassis unit on and this incredibly hardened rubber outsole. Those two reasons mainly, the lift and run chassis and the hardened outsole, are the reasons why you can't really get much responsive bounce back, but it is an improvement on the Reebok Nano 12s, mainly because this shoe is much more flexible. I can actually flex this shoe and scrunch it up, whereas with Reebok Nano 12s, I couldn't do that. That's mainly because Reebok want to make this a primary running shoe as well as a weightlifting shoe. So this lift and run chassis is supposed to create a completely flat, stable unit when you put pressure on it, but when you're running, it's supposed to kind of soften off and spring more when you're running. So it's supposed to create the hard and soft effect for both different activities. Now, when I'm walking in these, I can just feel the hard effect because I'm not running. If I'm going to use these as a lifestyle shoe, be prepared to have an incredibly firm ride underfoot. It is an improvement on the previous version, but because you've got this lift and run chassis that cuts straight through this energy foam and goes right to the floor, your heel almost is solid and propels you forward into kind of a running motion. So I didn't really enjoy the ride underfoot, but on top of your feet, they're incredibly comfortable. Fit-wise, they're an absolute true fit lengthwise for me, and also width-wise, I've got slightly wider than average feet, but the amount of room in the toe box is really nice, and this flex weave upper is really forgiving as well if you want to spread your feet out. But overall, the stability of these, there's absolute minimal foot roll. I'm really trying to twist this shoe, but it's incredibly difficult because they've made it so stable as a weightlifting sneaker. It has lost a bit of flexibility. Overall, as a lifestyle shoe, I just don't think you're going to get much daily comfort out of these. Now moving on to their weight, where I'm going to put them on the scales. So when I weigh sneakers, anything below 300 grams is considered an incredibly freak lightweight shoe. Anything below the 350 gram mark is considered lightweight. Anything between 350 and 400 grams, you're starting to get a bit heavyweight. And anything on the 400 gram mark and above is considered a heavyweight sneaker. So unfortunately, these do just slip into the heavyweight category. And also, when you compare them to the Reebok Nano 12s, these 13s are 40 gram heavier per shoe. Now obviously they are going to be a slightly heavier shoe because of the amount of technology they've got on them. This lift and run chassis is just pure plastic, and then you've got this incredibly hardened outsole. But if you are going to use these as a running shoe, keep in mind that they are heavy. As a weightlifting sneaker, and if you are going to use them in the gym to lift weights, then it's great because the extra weight isn't really going to bother you. But Reebok have said that these are going to be a perfect running and weightlifting sneaker, but unfortunately I don't think they will transition that well into a running shoe. And also an everyday lifestyle shoe, I wouldn't want to wear something that's really above the 350 gram mark. Now I want to move on to their breathability, where I want to pump this flex weave upper full of smoke to see how breathable they are. A real positive for these Reebok Nano 13s is the breathability of this flex weave upper that they've used. In the predecessors, the Reebok Nano 12s, there was only a small area of perforations on the toe box where the smoke escaped, but they've increased the breathability area and those perforations in the toe box and the midfoot, and you can see the smoke escape nicely from these areas quickly and in large amounts. So overall, quite a nice breathable shoe. You're not going to get all-round breathability because of the amount of padding you've got when you move towards the rear of the sneaker, but the midfoot and the toe box are gonna offer you enough, I'd say. Now, moving on to their price. Now, these set me back £110. Now, that, if you look back, is the same price as a pair of Reebok Nano 12s, but I managed to get my Reebok Nano 12s from a different supplier for £100. I've not seen these anywhere for lower than 110, but don't forget to shop around if you do want a cheaper price. But price-wise, they're pretty much the same as they were previously, so with the cost of living and everything going up, Reebok have kept the price the same, which is quite nice to see. So really, price-wise, all right. And now I want to move on to their overall score. Now, it was difficult to score these because as a lifestyle sneaker, I don't think they work that well, but obviously as a workout shoe and a weightlifting shoe, I think they're going to absolutely dominate. But as I do lifestyle sneaker reviews, I'm going to review and score them in that respect, and I'm going to give them a very average 3 stars. Now, that is a ½ star improvement on the Reebok Nano 12s, and I just think that's because they have increased the comfort just because they've made them more flexible and there's a bit more cushion in them. It's not like walking on a plank like it was with the 12s. And also, I think breathability wise, they've improved them there, and also in looks. But weight wise, I think they're too heavy, and cost wise, they're all right. So overall, 3 stars I think is pretty fair. But if you are going to use these as a running shoe, just be prepared for that extra weight. Now, if you like what you've seen today, please do not forget to give the video a thumbs up right before you leave. You can also follow me on Instagram, drop any comments below, and I'll see you again soon for another one. Bye.